extension of the front splitter. Whoa, that helped. Did you see the front end jump and come down? I had to lift a bit because the car is understeering. Come on, grip. Welcome to part 2, unintentional part 2, with Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAm. Because previously I've done a lap and all of you guys have noticed that the splitter was not fully extended. You might hear Danny DC2 outside running his car, so maybe we can wait till the MR2 is like moving away.
Solo per uso pista.
Yeah.
Do not step.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can do a pun.
Yeah, actually, I can, yeah. Alright, so anyway. Welcome to another video with Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAm, because the first time I've driven this car, all of you have noticed that the front splitter was not fully extended, and my main complaint with the car is that the front end was non-existent and actually quite dangerous and completely imbalanced. Therefore, for the sake of internet science, the lovely owner of this car has shipped the car back to the Nürburgring, which is like about 4-hour drive for him, to make sure that we can do another lap with a fully extended splitter. And you can see now it says for racetrack only, do not step.
It is.
Yeah, but our splitters we can stand on.
Yeah.
Even with 3 people, we should
Three
still.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
He's adding every day, he's adding it, and my heart always goes harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, well, I mean,
say that, but
your part is to design products, my part is to test them on track and off track.
True.
So anyway, yeah, check out the first video if you missed it, but today we want to walk you through more in technical specifications, whether this amount of front end is going to add more to the front end happenings. So Lapo, who is our main CTO, aerodynamicist and all kind of stuffs, tell us more. What do you think about it?
well, main purpose of this is to bring ideally the aero balance a bit more forward on the car, which is together with the rear wing increases overall load on all 4 tires, wheels.
Yeah.
By extending it, you increase the surface area on the front leading edge of the lip, and increasing this area, it keeps higher pressure in front of the bumper, because of course you have air coming in here, let's say hitting the front bumper, and then it wants to do 2 things, either go up, go in the radiators, or go down. Going down, you increase a bit of
Lift.
Yeah, a little bit. It depends on how the floor is designed and everything, but let's say by extending this, air wants to go down, it catches here and increases the high pressure here, and thus creates more load, because of course when you have a difference in pressures, sorry for my English, it's a bit late today, so and
Late.
it's
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, late 8. Yeah.
Late 8. Increasing the difference in pressure, it creates more load and thus more grip on the front axle. But that's not only the only thing that, let's say, increasing frontal load does. It also increases the efficiency of the coolers.
Okay.
So basically what happens is, going back to the high pressure zone in the front end, that's why you see how the grills are on here, because let's say the cooling matrix of the radiator works with airflow. The more pressure you have in front of the radiator, the more, let's say, efficient and the more heat gets dissipated. So the harder you can run the engine, the more power you can have for a longer period of time. And that's called, for example, heat soak. Heat soak is when the whole system, the whole powertrain system gets overwhelmed with heat, and thus it needs to reduce a bit of the power output to reduce temperatures. By increasing the frontal area of the lip, you increase the high pressure in front of the cooling ducts of the radiators. Probably there's some oil coolers, thus increasing the efficiency of the cooling system and having, I'm not saying more power, you could have more power, but more reliability and more extended power. So that's also why you're going to have faster lap times, because the overall package of the car, for example, even the brakes, are going to cool better. So you can prolong the, let's say, the power output of the engine throughout the lap, and in the Nürburgring you're gonna feel it even more because it's a very long lap. Talking about the rear wing, we can say, and I would need to do a full
CFD
analysis, which Misha also asked me, but I don't have the time, unfortunately. Increasing the angle of attack, even with this one you would see let's say a benefit. By increasing the angle, you increase the load here, and thus you create a bigger low pressure zone in the back. The low pressure zone in the back helps evacuate faster the diffuser, the flow, let's call it, in the lower end of the diffuser, thus creating a faster let's say stream of air that goes from the front to the rear, increasing load. So the rear wing helps the diffuser helps the splitter, and all of that, it's let's say a cascade effect that increases efficiency of the overall system.
Nice. Nice. That's much more technical than I have expected, but I mean, I'm super happy with all this additional explanation, because the more you know, not only the downforce, but also the efficiency of the coolers on the front. And yeah, so in short, this bit is actually, well, he would do a lot more than not having it there at all. So definitely. And you were about to find out that it actually did so. But the limiting factor, however, is unfortunately suspension and tires.
I went for a little cruising drive, and it's really, really good in terms of, let's say, driving dynamic and how responsive it is. But then it fails a bit on itself. To me, I really like a really pointy car, so to me it felt still a bit understeering on like an initial turn-in, and then a bit nervous on out power oversteer, and thus it's basically a dampening and spring rate problem.
Yeah,
you need to.
Yeah, the problem is that the dampers are electronically controlled. On my very first lap, I tried to make them softer to see how it is going to change the car, and that was actually horrible. So you really need to run it in race mode, but even then, it is still too soft for the bumpy Notchlife. And now the other issue is that, let's open and look at this V6 with a lot of things. 90 degrees, nice, pretty warm, 90 degrees, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
here you see it's electronically dampening, so you have the packs inside the valving can automatically adjust, which is a good thing. But in a racing scenario, you want to have consistent, let's say, sensibility on the steering wheel, and also on weight transfer.
Yeah.
So this is, let's say,
not race use.
Not ideal.
Not ideal for sure. This is one, let's say, I wouldn't call issue, but compromise for the suspension, the electronical adjustability. The other issue, oh look at that nice carbon fiber. The other issue, oh, that one's actually pretty smooth, is its adjustability, or actually a lack of it. Should we raise the car and have a look more in detail underneath? Shout out to Twinbush for lifting our spirits and cars. Alright, so the car is up. We will look at the suspension as mentioned. And there's a couple of other things. It actually looks pretty nice and clean here underneath.
Well, I have 3,000 kilometers, so
yeah.
I was hoping to be. Look, as you can see, is a double Wishbone type of suspension, which is, I mean, in a Porsche world, it's like, oh, double Wishbone.
Oh my God, yeah, we have double Wishbone.
But, I mean, the Civic has double Wishbone.
Exactly.
And it's just actually the same type of architecture, so it has a short top frame, let's call it Wishbone, and then a lower one with the strut, bolts too.
Before we go there, let's have actually a look at the splitter once again, because you have the extension that allows for higher pressure zone on the front to be more efficient, but actually underneath it doesn't change much or anything at all. If we look at it, the channels are...
It has basically
no efficiency whatsoever.
It has no aero in the front.
There is actually...
let's say, it has no, you know, motorsport...
When you look at that, for example, a GT3 splitter, there's lots of, you see, like, there's lots of channels that...
the ones that we do, and this is, of course, a production car. But if you look, for example, even the BMWs or the 360 here has more advanced
aerodynamics on the front
profiles than this. This is fairly bare.
Yeah, and they have lots of room to play with, actually, here. If you would...
there is actually some room, so it could be also an aftermarket, but I wouldn't target it as a like, you know, a target product to launch. But it has some you know, it's to control the wake or the front tires, so, and to direct the airflow around. So this basically what it's targeted is basically this airstream. That this is what I was saying before. Front end gets accelerated here. You have a here basically. There's a low pressure zone because as you see here it kicks up, and I don't know, here there is, for example, probably a
cooler maybe or something.
I think it's for the exhaust. So basically some air goes in and then it gets pulled out, probably to cool either the oil pan or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, yes, the air is targeted in the middle. It goes all the way to the back. Here there's two scoops for the differential. And then it goes to the rear section, then the main center part of the diffuser. And these vanes, you see, are basically, this is more aesthetic than functionality, but those two vanes basically help kick out the rear tire wake and also direct some of the front tire wake out still from the diffuser section. And the center part of the diffuser is what actually it's creating some you know, acceleration. If you accelerate the air, of course, you have a low pressure event, and thus sucking the car to the ground. It's not the most efficient setup. Also, for example, putting two vents there of that shape, it's
more of a
really
parachute.
Optimal. I would have liked more two NACA ducts if I would be the designer of it. But and that was what I was talking about before. And to be honest, I didn't even see the car. That's the first time I see it on the thing, but
underneath, yeah.
So basically, increasing that angle, it will optimize and create more load on the diffuser section, and thus helping all the way to the front.
Nice. But we were talking about the suspension before my ADHD brain went...
Sorry.
No, it's my problem. I said let's talk about the aero. So yeah, there's actually no adjustability when it comes to doing any kind of camber adjustment.
So usually on some cars, for example BMW, there's an eccentric bolt that you can adjust. I mean BMW's at the front or McPherson and multi-link in the back. But there should be, for example, some Porsches have plaques on the top arm. And also they have a camber, let's say, assembly to increase or decrease camber. Here there's nothing, or we couldn't see anything specific. So the only way to increase camber is either to have different inserts. So basically they offset the lower arm out, or have a different type of camber arm up the top. So the top arm, which is now it's completely solid, you would have, for example, like the Civic, have an adjustment point. So you can basically, if you look at it from this side, you have the top point adjustable. You can pull it in, and thus it increases the camber and also the camber gain of the suspension.
So what you're saying is 90s Civic is more superior than F1 engineered Alfa Romeo Sauber F1 team car thing.
Oh, was it?
What?
This was oh well, yeah.
Come here.
Yeah, well. Good. I mean, it looks cool though.
Yeah, true. Okay. In other news, so suspension is a limiting factor. Then the microscopic sidewall. It doesn't help because it's too stiff. When you go on the brakes, the car instantly goes on ABS because there's like almost no transition for the tire. It's just like as if you're driving on rims. And this assembly is too hard. And the shocks are actually too soft, so it's quite imbalanced, yeah. But yeah, anything else?
I think you have lots of packing effect on the dampener by having the spring not strong enough to then release the tension. Even though they're adaptive, I don't think the valving it's not correct for the Nürburgring,
Yes.
in my opinion. But
Yeah, actually, that's before we're gonna like bash it too much. We're not bashing it. It looks freaking epic. It drives also actually quite decent, but it
off
is
the shelf is better than an M4 competition, in my opinion.
no, for sure, for sure.
In my opinion.
Definitely, definitely. But there is quite some imbalance, and it would have been definitely better if the shocks had different characteristic and if the wheels were slightly smaller. But would it have such striking looks as the car does now? And honestly, as I am about to mention on the onboard, unless you're already skipping this particular part, who is going to buy a GTAm to actually fully sand track it? You buy a basic quadrifoglio and modify it to your own liking.
That would be interesting.
This is something that you would actually should not be put here, but more like on the wall there, because it is a work of art, like one way or the other.
Alphas always have one of the best wheel designs ever.
Yes,
They always
absolutely.
nailed it.
Wheel designs, but also like the car itself. For me, it's like one of the best looking cars ever created, and it drives actually also extremely well. But when you start pushing it on a limit, you start noticing certain things that could have been a bit better. But again, in reality, how many people are going to send it on the track? Finally, if you're not taking this on the bumpy Nordschleife, most likely on any GP style circuit that is flat, you're not going to notice any kind of issue. And yeah, it makes it actually a very great, capable car, good looking, striking looks, and collectability. Yeah. But I'm still very happy that Civic is more superior, especially when you see it finished next year. But for that, stay tuned, subscribe, like, and share. And big thank you to Lapo for schooling us on the aero things, but also suspension and a lot more. Hope you enjoyed this long intro as much, or maybe even more, than the actual driving part. So yeah, for the driving, I've done 3 laps, 1 warm-up lap to do the tires. Probably not going to include that in onboard because it was kind of boring. And then we've done 2 consecutive laps because it was Dan's track day. And yeah, so you can see also like some straight, flat out driving on the main straight. Small disclaimer, didn't have enough sleep because I didn't know there was a track day. So it was not the optimal track performance. I was holding myself a bit back. But you still would see the better turn-in, but very poor, let's call it that way, suspension handling on the bumpy sections, which made the front end just like go up in the air. And yeah, thanks a lot.
No problem.
All right, now where do I put this? I can try here for once. Today was like the most challenging day when it comes to using a microphone, because it always fell off, went somewhere else. So let's see if it's gonna stay there and pick it up. Anyway, we are now on track day, on Dan's track day, from a fella called Daniel, Lieutenant Dan Heavyfield, or Daniel Schwelfeld. I think he just started a new company for track day. So I was not planning on driving today. I didn't know that the track was open. I totally missed it off the radar that he has a Halloween track day today. Today's Halloween, by the way. And then I saw all kinds of cars and I came here like, hey, who's the organizer? Can I do some laps? Done me a very good deal on the pricing because I only have 2 hours left, so I actually paid for 2 hours. So let's make the most of it. After this I need to drive Jimmy's Ferrari, so it's going to be very very Italian today. Anyway, on track day I already done a lap with the car to warm up the tires. So now we'll go for 2 laps because the straight is open, because the track day. It would be rude not to, for you to see the top speed on the main straight of this car, of this vehicle. Disclaimer, I was not intending on driving today. I thought the track was closed, so I didn't sleep as much as I would love to. So this maybe not be fully full send. Disclaimer 2, why am I wearing like 6-point harnesses and a 3-point? Well, in case of an impact with a loose 3-point, especially with Porsche GT cars, and if you have a side airbag, it can be pushed into your rib. And I know so far publicly known 3 cases where people died in an accident on track because the seatbelt got pushed into them by the airbag. So yeah, no risks, no chances. That's why I'm having everything, and the car otherwise wouldn't shut up. Anyway, let's go for a lap. Everything is in race mode. Everything is off. Tires are a bit warm now, so that's good. Yeah, my first impression on the previous lap, when I was warming up the tire, is that honestly, the car gets slightly better. It's not ideal still, but you can see now maybe already some movement through the through the front end on the camera. And yeah, this guy in the Corvette is very fast, so pride of all the Z06 drivers. Is the Z06? I don't know. The other thing, disclaimer, it's very cold today. We're approaching winter, so the track temperatures are very low. There were also lots of crashes today on the track day because everyone forgot that it's not what's it called? It's not optimal grip conditions anymore. As you can notice, I'm having a bit of a hard time talking and driving at the same time. Then again, I haven't driven the track for almost a month because it's already off season. The track is only open in the weekends, and I spend most of the time in Croatia now with my wife and family. So yeah, some challenges. Passenger seat belts are a bit loose, that are making noise. They're not completely loose. What's tire pressure? See up, so you know. Just see a link falling down. So the front end did get a bit better. The main issue now is that the suspension is not adjustable when it comes to the stiffness, hardness, compression, rebound. So we are missing a lot on the front end compliance. It's really still floating significantly less than it used to be. So the extension of the front splitter did help. But did you see the front end jump and come down? There's still too much suspension travel in low and high speed sections especially. So yeah, not great, not ideal, but of course it did benefit something. So the internet was right. No, honestly, I mean, obviously it would add something, but then again, it's a street car with track capabilities, so I think we need to be quite honest when it comes to the car's purpose. We should not judge it that it's like not 100% track hardcore, because if you want that, you buy a normal Giulia Quattrofoglio and modify it yourself. I know there's a project going on right now in the area of the Nürburgring, not by us, but someone is building a Giulia QV, not QV but Quattrofoglio, with proper mods on it, so it will be cool to see it next season. Yeah. Even in today's cold temperatures, it's quite compliant. And then again, I'm also, when people think I'm complaining, I mean, I'm just trying to find what is not that good, because when the car is good, there must be something that you should be hating on. Like in case of GT3 RS, where's the frunk? You need to complain about something, right? So actually, in general, it's quite well balanced. Like previously I praised, the car has fantastic brakes, even a bit too good, maybe. What would really benefit this car? It would kill the looks a bit, but smaller wheels, bigger sidewall tires, and more adjustability on the suspension. Honestly, I think if fully understeer there. If Alfa Romeo had decided to put a fully manually adjustable, 3-way adjustable 4-way suspension, that would have maybe even contributed more to the rawness of the car. That you can say like this is a proper track tool. So you have even manually adjustable suspension and not the electronic dampers that we have here now. Nothing wrong with that, but I mean, for 90% of the people, but if you actually want to track it, they're missing compliance and additional settings. You see the front end floating here as well, and it's still understeer on a high front-wheel drive, because everything else about the Honda is perfect. He needs to hate on something, so secretly he loves it. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now and you make your conclusions about the rest of the lap. Everything from the car that I can do. We're limited by the alignment, which we cannot change, by the compression rebound settings, and the tires. Oh, look at the bonnet flapping open. Oh man. But I promised you to go flat on the straights on the track day, so we need to do that. Because the car is understeering, and we're off the ideal line there. Oh man. Yeah. The braking performance is really poor because there's almost no sidewall, so it's such brakes, big brakes. Really going on lockup mode quite soon. He wanted to go in the pits, and then he saw me and was like, oh, I want to play, I want to show him who's the boss. I know Corvette is the boss. In this case, not even going to try to deny it. Again, watch how the front end flies. one of my, if I have too much money, a car that I would build on the side extra. C6, I love the looks of it, the rawness. When you put like a proper big wing on it, aggressive aero, I think that's the car I would build. Lost a lot of time here because unfortunately not confident with high-speed corners as the car is understeering, even with the extended splitter. Understeer in the carousel. Oh, did he crash? Because there was like some loose parts or something fell off. Oh yeah, he hit something. Oh, I think tire blowout maybe. Because he has like tire marks on the back. I don't see visible damage on the car, but yeah, he was properly pushing it then. But he had a blowout, maybe in the carousel. It's proper on the limit. So happy that he's alright. There is no crash, but I guess the track day is over for him. So we only have like an hour left or less. Yes, the car is better with the front splitter extended. I'll be honest with you, it's... Where's the mic? Did it go away again? Or something? Alright, well, whatever. Man, this mic today is super annoying. I never had so much more trouble. I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect that the difference would be this noticeable, but it's still minimal when it comes to being noticeable. The main problem is it's still not 100% perfect. On high speeds, it's still understeery. The front end, it's still very travel-y, very bouncy. So yeah, it's better, but not perfect. But then again, as mentioned previously, it's not fully track car, because I mean, over the years I started, like, what's it called? I started to be more realistic with expectations. You have, for example, I don't know, Porsche GT3 RS, which is a very fast track capable car. Then you have the Mantai version, which is really track optimized. it's still not a race car. It's not on full slicks. So then you have the cup car, which is faster on track. And the same goes with this. You have the normal Giulia, you have the Quadrifoglio, you have GTAm, and in a perfect world you would have a GT3 car or BTCC car or DTM car. 155 DTM, no. Yeah, but it's not a perfect world. As mentioned, we like cars for it. Oh my god, I started with a full tank and we have now like almost a quarter left after 3 laps. It's a thirsty girl. So yeah, overall I think it's a great, capable collector's item, track DNA, Sauber. No, that's very German. Sauber! Sauber. No, yeah, Sauber. Very bad German impression of mine. Not impression, but impersonation. But Sauber. Or how do you say it? Would it be Italian? Anyway, the race team. Totally lost my thought there because I got distracted by 200,000 different things. So, car is capable collector's item, but it's not fully track focused. You want to fully track focus, you build it to your own liking, because the problem is also no track is the same. Because here, for example, we reach very high-speed sections, high-speed corners, but maybe smaller tracks, GP tracks, you do not have that luxury or problem. And there, the suspension setup might be completely fine because you're not going 250 plus kilometers per hour over jump through Schwedenkreuz for the front is lifting or bumps through Flansgarten. Other tracks, this might be completely fine and good and no problem. And let alone if you're driving it daily, or let alone if you just like hang this car on your wall because it looks fantastic. So hereby, I think the test is tested. The car with extended splitter, definitely better. You still have problems with suspension, and Jimmy's car is over there, so I'm just gonna park up here. You still have the problem with suspension compliance for the bumpy Nürburgring, and the very small sidewall is far from being ideal. But other than that, you can have lots of fun on track with it. Whether it should be a track car, because I think it's too valuable to track it non-stop, that's a different story. But yeah, anyway, I go try to do a quick lap with Jimmer's 360 without running out of brakes, because the car has no brakes. But yeah, it's not the purpose to go fast, but simply to benchmark and see what I think of it. I wonder where the mic went. So annoying. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And now time for 360 lap and then a nap. Bye.